How's it going, everyone? This is DoctorJefe with my CK3 tutorial series, and today I'm going to be looking at lifestyles. Now, whenever you start the game or you die and your heir takes over, you're going to get a little pop-up saying no lifestyle chosen. So you can click on this to go to your lifestyles, or you can always click on this little button underneath your character to go into the lifestyle menu. Now here you're going to see the 5 different types of lifestyles you can go into. Now this is similar to your 5 primary statistics: diplomacy, martial, stewardship, intrigue, and learning. Now if you're starting out, you're probably going to want to look into the same lifestyle that your education is in. You gain more experience based on your education level. Now, just looking at our education level, we have a 4-star education in martial, making us a brilliant strategist. Say you had a 4-star education in diplomacy, making you a Grey Eminence, you would gain more experience in the diplomacy lifestyle tree. Now, if your education is not 4-star, say it's only 3-star, you'll gain 30% more experience, 2-star 20%, and so on. Now, looking at your lifestyle tree, you're going to see a couple of perks have already been unlocked. This will happen whenever you start a new game with a character, or if you have a landed heir. They will start gaining experience, unlocking perks. Now say they got some perks that you don't like, you can always click on the reset perks button. This will give you 125 stress, so that will cause a mental break. However, it can be useful if they have perks you don't like. Now, one thing about resetting the perks is that once you do this, you can't just switch them from martial to another class. It stays within the martial perks. So you can go from overseer to gallant or to strategist, but you can't go from take your overseer perks and suddenly say, well, now I'm a theologian. It's not going to work like that. Now, one more basic thing is that the experience required to gain a perk is 1,000. Now, in the area where you have a bonus, say in your martial, getting 40% more, you're getting 35 a month. So it takes you approximately 30 months, which is a little bit less than 3 years to gain a perk. However, if you're just getting your baseline, which will be 25 for anything that you don't gain a boost in, that's going to take you 40 months or 3 1/3 years. Each of these lifestyle tech trees has 8 perks you can unlock, and finally a 9th trait that you'll unlock. So in order to unlock all these 9 perks, it'll take 30 years to fill out one tree at the basic level. Now that may seem like a long time. Who knows if your ruler is going to even live 30 years. However, you get a lot of events in CK3 that'll give you opportunities to gain more experience as well as free perks. Well, not really free. Everything in CK3 has a cost to it. So in order to choose which lifestyle you want, you're going to come over here and click one of these focuses. Now each of these 5 lifestyles that you can go into will have 3 different focuses, and usually they're going to give you a boost to that primary attribute as well as a couple other benefits. You can see that usually these focuses will kind of correlate to these tech trees. So the foreign affairs focus will correlate to the diplomat, majesty to August, family focus to family hierarch. Now that we've looked at this, we can look into each of the tech trees and see what the perks are specifically. Let's start off with diplomacy. So in diplomacy we have 3 tech trees: diplomat, August, family hierarch. Under diplomat, we can see the first perk is thoughtful. This allows you to gain more opinion every time you send a gift. So, if we look at our court and we want to send this random courtier a gift, we can pay 12 to get 15 opinion. Now, how much opinion you gain from each gift depends on each person. They're going to want different amounts of gold to gain different amounts of opinion. So this will make your gold go much further every time you want to send a gift. Gift, aka bribe, to make people like you. Ducal Conquest gives you the ability to create titles for 20% less gold. Now, a king, say you want to create a duchy title, that's going to cost you 250 gold if you're a feudal lord and 125 if you're a tribal lord. This 20% benefit will save you 50 gold as a feudal lord, so it goes from 250 down to 200. And as a tribal lord, you'll save 25, so 125 down to 100. Again, saving you money. And you can use the Ducal Conquest Causes Belli. So this allows you to seize counties required to create an uncreated title of duchy rank. Adaptive Traditions. This improves your counselor's foreign affairs effectiveness, which basically makes other rulers like you more and gives you some more prestige. You can see it right over here. More prestige and more likingness by the other independent rulers. Defensive negotiations causes other vassals to like you better, as well as other independent rulers. You can also propose one alliance without a marriage. Now, typically in CK3, you're going to need to marry either your sons, daughters, sisters, mothers, fathers. Probably not your father, but you're going to need to marry someone in your close family to another person in another ruler's close family in order to get an alliance. This allows you to get an alliance without a marriage, although it may be easier if you have a large family just to marry off some third son or unwanted daughter. Forced vassalage allows you to use the forced vassalization casus belli, so you can vassalize any ruler who does not have more than 3 counties in their realm. You can increase this through different technologies. However, they must be of a lower rank than you. So if you're a duke, you can't force vassalize another duke. King can't force vassalize another king. And it must be a neighboring independent ruler. Flexible truces cause shorter truce timers. So instead of waiting several years, you only have to wait a couple. Embassies, so each alliance grants +1 diplomacy. So while you can get 1 free one from defensive negotiations, all those other alliances you get from marrying away your close family will give you even more diplomacy. An accomplished forger, so now you can fabricate claims much more quickly. So when you fabricate a claim, you're sending your chaplain, or taltos in this culture, over here. So say it would take 16 months, or maybe over here. Well, continue the fabrication. Instead of taking 16 months, now we're going to look at around maybe 9 to 10 months. If we can get back into the tech tree. Finally, after unlocking all these 8 perks, you can unlock the trait Diplomat. So this will give you added diplomacy, even more independent ruler opinion, as well as your personal schemes going up. So all in all, Diplomat, it's great for expanding, gaining territory, and making other rulers like you more. Now, August, this is all about prestige. You can even see it here in this Majesty focus. You're getting +1 prestige per month. So Benevolent Intent, Sway Scheme goes up. Firm Hand, monthly prestige per dread. Now, we're not going to talk about dread in this in this episode, but if you're creating a character who wants to create a lot of dread, this will be super useful for you. Inspiring Rule, monthly prestige per powerful vassal on the council, +5%. You're usually going to want powerful vassals on the council, so it makes sense to get some extra bonus prestige off of them. Praetorian Guard, monthly prestige per knight, +2%. This synergizes with the fact that as you increase in prestige, you get more knights. So here, as distinguished, you have +1 knight, illustrious +2 knights, +3, +4. True Ruler, offer vassalization acceptance +25. Now, if say you're a king and there's a count or a duke in your de jure kingdom, you can offer them vassalization, and there's a lot of reasons why they may choose to accept or may choose not to accept. This will make it more likely that they do. Writing history, you get to commission epic decision, so yes, you're basically paying money in order to gain prestige. Life of Glory, level of fame impact. So this is what we were just looking at. You get +100%. So now instead of opinion +3, it'll be +6, and you'll get +2 knights. This synergizes well with the Praetorian Guard, which you've already unlocked. You can have +8 knights. Now, knights do a lot in making your armies a higher quality and a lot stronger. So this could be really beneficial. Dignitas, diplomacy per level of fame, +1. So we can see that even within these 2 tech trees, and we're going to see this is a very common theme, that there's different ways to gain different or the same benefit. So these 2 things are giving you other ways to gain more diplomacy, this through alliances and this through level of fame. Finally, you can gain August, which gives you diplomacy and martial and another +1 prestige per month. Now, of course, you don't have to choose a focus that goes with this tech tree, but sometimes if you want to synergize really well, maybe min-max, it makes sense to do so. The final tree in the diplomacy lifestyle is the family hierarchy. So befriend, you can use the befriend scheme. So this is a scheme that allows you to make friends with someone, which gives you a huge boost in opinion, plus 50 I believe, as well as other benefits through different events. Friends can help you gain more skills. They can send you money when you're at war. There's all sorts of benefits from friendship. Then we'll also see that this friend ability synergizes really well with other perks in this tree. So going down, Confidence, each friend adds minus 5% stress gain. Flatterer, befriend scheme power, plus 30%. So now not only can you make friends, you're better at making friends, and they're reducing your stress. Groom to rule, children receive 1 to 3 extra skill points, making your children, and hopefully your heirs, better. Heart of the family, close family opinion, plus 15. This will keep your brother from trying to murder you, although don't think that it will always work. Thicker than water, personal scheme success chance, plus 25% against family members. This can synergize well with the befriend. Maybe you want your brother to be your friend. Then he probably will be way less likely to murder you and try and take your throne. Friendly council, each friend relation gives 2 random skill points. So similar to how embassies were granting learning, dignitas granting some more diplomacy, or sorry, not learning, diplomacy. Now your friends are giving you skill points. Sound foundations, each living child grants 1 random skill point. So if you have a large family, you're getting more points. If you have a lot of friends, you're getting more points. This is for players who want a huge house and lots of friends. Finally, you can gain the trait Patriarch, which gives you more fertility, means more children, means more skill points. Stress loss goes down by 20%. Close family opinion plus 15, and house opinion plus 10. Making all those people in your family like you a little bit more and hopefully less likely to kill you. Now under Martial, this is for players who are looking to, conquest. However, it's not all about conquest, as we'll see as we go through this tech tree. So the first tree is Strategist. Bellum Justum causes belli cost minus 50%. Now you may think, wait, isn't it free to fabricate claims? So when you declare war, it costs prestige. This will allow you to declare war with 50% less prestige than it would normally cost. Now all these tactics are for the men-at-arms, which we're not going to go into in this video, but if you want to go down this, it's basically going to help make any battle you're in more favorable for you. So if you have a smaller army, you're more likely to defeat some larger armies. So organized march, engineered for destruction, making siege weapons better, which is very useful since sieges take several months. Envelopment, helping men-at-arms, counter efficiency. We're not going to talk about that, but it's useful. Hit and run, retreat losses less, as well as buffing up your men-at-arms. Living off the land, raid speed increases, and supply capacity also increases. This is good if you have a large army moving into low supply limit counties. Sappers, this allows your men-at-arms to increase the siege progress, so you won't really need as many siege weapons. And finally, Strategist, which increases your diplomacy, martial, enemy fatal casualties. So now, not only when you win battles will they be forced to retreat, but they're going to have a much smaller army, and you can cross water without advantage penalties. So you don't have to worry about whether you're going over some rivers while you're plotting your way through. Definitely useful if you just, click and kill kind of person. Overseer helps you control the lands that you take in conquest. So serve the crown, gives you a natural dread of plus 15, and control growth. So every county that you own has a level of control in it. If we can click on one of them. So control is absolute. So for all of these, this is a perk that gives you additional bonuses, plus 5 and plus 10%. Let's say we go to another land. Everyone here is going to have control. But as control decreases, you're going to get less tax and less levies. So, and when you conquer a new land, you may have, zero control over that, giving you a huge negative to the amount of taxes and levies that you're going to get from your newly conquered counties. So, control growth plus 0.3 is very useful. A man's home controlled territory defender advantage, making battles in your own territory much more favorable to you. Strict organization, increased control and county progress, plus 20%. Synergizes well with your control growth, plus a flat 0.3. Enduring hardships, fort levels go up, and enemy occupations do not lower control. So anytime an enemy sieges your lands, your control is dropped, which means, less money, less levies. This helps you, say you're in wars and enemies are coming to siege you, you don't have to worry about your lands becoming less lucrative due to the hostile sieges. Hard rule, dread gain goes up. This helps because you have a natural dread of just plus 15. So if you want to have high dread, this will help with that. Siege progress against revolts, plus 50%. And faction military power threshold for vassals, plus 20. So instead of having only 80%, which is usually what vassals need in order for a faction to become discontent and perhaps revolt against you, now they're going to need 100%, which is much harder for vassals. Prepared conscription gives you less maintenance for your army, as well as more levy reinforcement rate. So not levy actual number, but say you lose a lot of men in battle, this allows you to reinforce more quickly. Mercenary hires are cheaper and absolute control, which we did see in some of the counties, which are providing a slight boost to the amount of money and levies that you can get from each county. And finally, the overseer trait, which gives you more martial and stewardship, as well as, again, more control growth. This is good if you're taking over lands in, say, holy wars, where, the culture and religion are not going to be the same as yours. The control is going to be very low. Or say you want to revoke a lot of titles, take lands away from people. This will allow you to regain control over them very quickly. The final tech tree in the martial lifestyle is Gallant. And Gallant has two different sides to it. So the one side is this courtship side, which is really about marriage and marriage prospects. And the other side is about prowess and knights. So the first one is prowess plus 4, which is your personal commander leadership ability and how much damage you do as a leader. And it reduces the risks of commanding armies. So any leader I had who had stalwart leader, they haven't died in battle. Now this is something that can happen. Knights do often get wounded and die in battle. But having stalwart leader has, helped keep my leader from dying in battle, which is huge. You don't want your king to randomly die in some battle against peasants. Courtship, romance scheme, and elope scheme. So this allows you to, court perhaps people who are, you wouldn't be able to get a good marriage with. So perhaps you can romance them and elope with them. And somehow you're getting married into some high empire, you lowly count. Of course the emperor would never want his daughter to marry you, but romanced her and eloped with her. That's amazing. Going down this marriage side, marriage acceptance for yourself plus 50, marriage acceptance for close family and extended family. So say you have a son who's not the greatest, or your account trying to marry one of your close family to a duke or a king, this will help make up that negative modifier that is there when trying to marry upwards. Loyalty and respect, spouse opinion plus 50, and skills from spouse counselor tasks plus 25%. Now, having your wife like you is pretty good. She can help out in a lot of different ways. If she doesn't like you, she may join a plot to murder you. Don't want that to happen. Chivalric dominance, knight effectiveness plus 75%. Now, knights are a huge part of your army. We're not going to go into it, but having them more effective is a great bonus. Never back down, friendly fatal casualties minus 20%, and your combat advantage is plus 5. Kingsguard, number of knights plus 4. You're going to have a huge number of knights. In fact, you may not be able to fill every knight position. However, there are decisions that allow you to invite knights to your court. So hopefully you have prestige and money to fill out these extra knights that you're going to get. Peacemaker, peace acceptance plus 10. Typically you need 100% war score in order to get some lands from someone. Now this takes it down to 90. Maybe you don't have to full occupy or wait so long for the war score counter to go up. And the trait for Martial is Gallant, which gives you more martial, more prowess, more prestige, and you're definitely more attractive. Alright, so join me in the next lifestyle video where we're going to go through stewardship, intrigue, and learning. Until then, hope you all have a great day, and remember, as always, to take care of yourself.